The warmonger, a person that loves seeing our troops fighting, Liz Cheney. How about that? The good news is in her state, she's been censured, and in her state, her poll numbers have dropped faster than any human being I've ever seen. So hopefully they'll get rid of her with the next election. Get rid of them all.
So that is, by the way, that is the same guy who, Willie, attacked John McCain regularly while he was dying of cancer and continued to attack John McCain after he died of cancer. That's the same guy who, of course, stayed in an Ivy League school that his daddy probably got him into, and his daddy kept him out of the war while John McCain was getting beaten up so badly in Vietnam that he couldn't even raise his arms over his head for the rest of his life. And when John McCain had a chance to get out of that hell, he stayed because his band of brothers were still left behind. That's the same guy right there, Donald Trump, that attacked John McCain, and that's attacked Liz Cheney, and that's attacked in the past Ronald Reagan. That's attacked everybody.
It's attacked our country.
And you hear those people in the audience, and this has been, I got to say, this has been. Mika will tell you this, for me, watching this happen, I know Liz, and I've always respected, known and loved and respected her family, but, we've never been particularly close. For some reason, this week has been kind of the hardest for me over the past 4 or 5 years as far as figuring out what happened to the people I grew up with, what happened to the people who claimed when they were voting for me they were for small government, what happened to the people who, when they voted for me, claimed that they were for a strong NATO, that they were for pushing back on Russia, that they were for democracy, that they were for the rule of law. No man above the law, they would say. They would hold their little constitutions, which I always had in my pocket, and they would say, in this country, we are not a law of men. We are not a nation of men. We are a nation of laws. Mm-hmm. That was the cornerstone of what we believed. That's all. I mean, all the people who claim to be conservatives were saying the same thing for 50 years that Liz Cheney was saying, that I said in Congress. And now I don't understand it now. I don't understand why my friends still, and my family members still, follow this man. Nothing conservative about him. It's what you remember me saying and what Mika remembers me saying through the 2016 campaign. I said it. Go back, look at the tapes. I warned Republicans, there's nothing conservative about this man. He's hijacking your party. In February of 2016, I said this guy will destroy the party of Abraham Lincoln. And yet it's not just about voting, Willie. I have good friends, lifelong friends, that have advanced degrees, that are attorneys, that are of moderate temperament, that over the past year they've told me, oh, COVID, it's just like the flu. Because I heard Donald Trump say it's just like the flu. Of course, they didn't repeat Donald Trump when the Woodward tapes were leaked. And actually, Donald Trump was saying it was much worse than the flu. These are the same people that told me they're not taking the vaccine. And they're not taking the vaccine. They all have different reasons for not taking the vaccine. But if Donald Trump had told them from the very beginning to take the vaccine, they would have taken the vaccine. Yeah. These are the same people who I went to church with,
Yeah.
I went to Sunday school with, I went to training union with, I went on mission trips with, I sang in the church choir with, I grew up with, I spent every Friday night with, we'd have Bible studies on, like,
These are the people you love.
these are the people I love. Not past tense. These are the people I love.
And Joe, if I may, these are the people that if Donald Trump called any one of them a murderer,
12 times.
and if Donald Trump did anything to try and destroy them, you would be on a plane and you would be by their side and you would be fighting for them.
And I would tell them I would go to war.
Think a second.
I wouldn't think a second. I would, all of my friends, and by the way, these same friends
These
right
people are
now,
family.
I've said this before, if I needed something, even today, they would give it to me. If I needed a kidney, they would give it to me. These, which actually makes it more disturbing, these people are in a cult. And it allows them to separate everything they've learned in school, everything they've learned in church, everything they've read in Jesus' words, everything they've read in the New Testament, everything they've read in the Gospels, everything they've read in the Old Testament, and they're able to separate that and embrace this alternate reality. And for some reason, I guess watching it happen with somebody else, and let me say, by the way, and Mika will tell you this, I don't, Donald Trump, this isn't about Donald Trump calling me a murderer. This is about me talking to my friends and them having this massive disconnect and not understanding that if a president had called them a murderer and said they should be thrown in jail and then, of course, capital punishment, all that, I would have been the first to rush up there. We would have all rushed up there. This is so bizarre and beyond. And so they knew that was a lie, right? And if he was going to lie in such a grand way about something as crazy as that, so if he's going to lie about that, Willie, well, what the hell won't he lie about? And then we get to the things that matter. The vaccine. Like, why won't he come out and tell them people are lying about the vaccine? Why won't he be aggressive on the front lines? The election, which is what we're talking about now.
The insurrection.
Why does he keep lying about the election? Why does he keep lying about the insurrection? He was the guy who inspired it. But most importantly, those people that were booing in the audience, I've got to tell you, I'm just at a loss. Why are they still embracing him? And liberals who are stupid go, oh, you supported a cut in the capital gains tax. You were part of this all along. Like, what morons? Just shut up and get off my Twitter feed. Just shut up and get off my Twitter feed. Willie, I gotta say, I can't grasp how this happened. People I know, people I love, people who have always stood, forget about politics, but in life, for what's right. People who taught their kids to do the right thing. People who lived by a code that made me proud to be their friends. What happened? I have no idea. I never would have believed this 5 years ago. And I tell you the truth, I never believed that 75 million Americans would vote for this guy. They did. Then the insurrection came. I never would have believed they would have stayed with him. I'm telling you, I've said it before. You can put all the polls up that show that Joe Biden has a 63% approval rating, whatever. And he was going to win Wisconsin by 20 points. If the election were held today, Donald Trump would get 75 million votes. He hasn't lost a single vote. And yes, you can give me all, you can say, oh, my cousin. My cousin in Scranton's not voting for him next time. No, he would get the 75. I don't know a single person who's changed their mind. There's certainly not enough people. You look at these polls, he dominates the Republican Party even more. And of course, they're going to keep losing elections. They may win in 2022 for obvious reasons, but national elections are done as a national party. So this isn't about politics. This is about me looking back over the past 50 years and realizing that almost everybody that I grew up with, everybody that I loved then and love now, live by a different set of realities when it comes to politics.
And you're talking about an experience, Joe, that I think almost everyone in this country has had in one way or another. That, by the way, that speech that he made was at the American Conservative Union, which stands for conservative principles and conservative policies, cheering Donald Trump and booing Liz Cheney, who, of course, has a much higher lifetime conservative rating than Donald Trump or Elise Stefanik or anybody else that's following in her footsteps. But
hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.